Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday, TGIF. Thank goodness the week is over. How is it going, everyone? Let's see. Good morning, McRangers. Good morning, John. Good morning, Patrick. Happy Friday to you. Good morning, Ro. Good morning, Jake. Good morning, Martinez. Good morning, Ted. Good morning, Sterling. I wonder what happened to you, Sterling. But thank you for popping in, and Sterling with the good morning before any figures late because of work. Work gets in the way of a perfectly good day. They should change your schedule around this live stream, Sterling. I mean, what is this? Who do I need to talk to? Is it good morning after that debate, Tony? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is the best we can do as a country. That's all I have to say. uh, Uh, that I was watching. I was absolutely dumbfounded. And for anyone who thinks, and I'm not making this political, but if anybody thinks that Biden's coherently running this country, oh, I got some waterfront property in Arizona to sell you. My goodness, my goodness. Grand Rising, Christoph. Good morning, Royal Palms. Who did I miss somebody? Yeah, no, I didn't. Hello, Charles. Terrifying that we don't have mental acuity testing. Wow. Good morning, Jacob. I mean, it, really, really. I'm a libertarian, okay, and I'm not voting for the libertarian guy this year because that's an absolute joke. But you know what? I'd be embarrassed if I was a Democrat. Like, and then to defend this, like, really, that's in the whole Democrat Party. That's the best. That's what you got to offer. That you're not like really going, eh, we got to do something. I mean, who here thinks they're going to replace Biden? And if you think they're going to replace Biden, who are they going to replace him with? Because I don't know if they can let this continue. But we will see. Again, not a political comment. I'm just saying, and I'm not a Democrat, but that was a unmitigated disaster. So on top of that, we had PCE come out this morning. We've already had Barkin speaking. We've had Daly speaking right after the PCE numbers coming out. Core PCE month over month, roughly in line. Personal income higher than forecast. Personal spending lower than forecast. Interesting combo there. The year over year 2.6 as expected. Core 2.6 as consensus right there. So nothing shocking with that. We got the Chicago PMI coming out. Let's see how big a dumpster fire that still is. But let's see consumer sentiment. These are the final numbers for June at 10 a.m. Eastern. And the inflation expectations. So let's see how that goes. We had the debate last night, and the market actually running up for the most overnight and then dropping after the PCE. I mean, the PCEs came in roughly in line, so there was nothing to talk about there. I'm going to be paying very close attention at 10 a.m. for the consumer sentiment, all the set of numbers there, especially the inflation expectations, because it's still expected to be 3.3. So consumers expecting a little more embedded inflation. And then we got Bowman speaking, Daly speaking, and the rig counts. And you got Fed Williams speaking this Sunday. So let's see. The market pulled back a bit after the PCEs. We'll check on it in a bit. Nike, which was the key earnings yesterday, absolutely slaughtered. Earnings weren't good, and guidance is horrible. That is woof. And if that's a sign of what the consumer's doing, watch out. Watch out below. Energy strong again. Oil trading against that 62.5 harmonic. So groups, we got energy, basic materials, and technology leading. Comm services pulling back. Which was lagging comm services? What we got? Google and Meta. Fed Watch still has the first, we'll have to see if this changes after the open, but still has the first potential cut in September. Fear and greed finally back to neutral mode. But price strength is in fear and breadth is still in fear. So you have, and especially the breadth is really not good. Really not good. As I said, there's nothing today with the earnings, but yesterday, Nike, massive disaster, which we'll be watching for the see how that plays out with the consumer moving forward. Who else? Yeah, crazy and confused, debate each other. It was sad on both. You know, again, I'm not a fan of anybody running. My biggest concern is this is an absolute clown show of the best we can do. That's out of everybody who's eligible for a president in this country. This is what we get to choose from. Can people and can we get? Never mind. Don't you have the Brooklyn Bridge there to sell? No, I don't have the Brooklyn Bridge here in Arizona. I really don't. There is no Brooklyn Bridge. The closest one, I'd have to do the little mini replica in Las Vegas. Yeah, I did catch the Hussman interview on Thoughtful Money. The 10-year outperformed the S&P for nearly half time since 90. I really thought if anybody did not watch the Hussman interview on Thoughtful Money, definitely do a search. Not right now. Wait till this live stream's over. But do a search, Adam Taggart, Thoughtful Money. The Hussman interview I thought was fantastic. He really it lays out some of his research. Again, not an exact timing tool, but to consider longer term positioning, very, very good advice. That's where I think from a fundamental perspective, fantastic. Now it's just getting the timing roughly right. You don't have to have the timing exact. You don't have to have the timing exact. No, we don't need Mike for president. We do. I would not want that job. Good morning, Anissa. It was bad. And I'm not somebody who's going to go pick on from a political leaning. Why I'm going to not go pick on people, but it was bad. It was bad. And that's not. I mean, my wife, who was watching it, while doing other things on the iPad, she kept looking up and going, "What?" I mean, it was bad. It's like literally turning into elder abuse at this point. Somebody's got to take him aside and say, "Dude, you're not here right now. You know what? Go off into the sunset, enjoy your remaining years of life, and don't try to run a country." Yeah, and then the news media. Thank you, Coco, for new all-time high around the corner. Yeah, that's funny. Trump and murdering elderly man on CNN. No, again, I would not want to be president. Yeah, and the latest market comment is a worthwhile read as well. By the way, if you don't follow him on Twitter because he posts it. He posts it for free. Well, I think they're going to have to. I think Kamala is another unmitigated disaster. Sorry, London Bridge. I would be long on Panera if Mike ran. Do you have any idea about ICT trading concept? I do not, dark screen. I do not. All right, so S&P, remember Friday, PCE numbers out, and after the sentiment numbers come out, please don't do anything dumb. Sentiment numbers we've had a pullback. Let me go to short-term charts real quick. You see where the PCE numbers came out. And we got the little sell-off. Here's a stair-stepping move higher since the debate. You know, back and forth, the debate time, and then stair-stepping move higher. So we got into double territory. Now, can we have another bounce if the consumer sentiment comes in better than expected and their inflation expectations drop? Can you get another rally off that? Yes. You could get a potential reversal. If it comes in worse, we could get a sell-off. Do not ignore 10 a.m. Eastern. So we do have potential double top, not worrying about that really triggering today unless something really weird happens. Okay, if going to be watching today, if we do close above 55, 58, 75, because that anchors it for a potential little move higher at the beginning of next week, with daily cycles still moving up and weekly cycles still at the top. Remember, we still have weekly divergences set up, and now PCE's out of the way. So, could this run potentially a little higher? Yes. Overhead, we have the top of the wedge line, and if it were to break out, here's where I'd use your mini reverse harmonics to come up with the intermediate levels, especially for today. If something happened like consumer sentiment comes in way better than expected, I'd use these kind of levels, and it can blow through that 87.5. Now, I'm not expecting that, but that's exactly where I'd use the reverse harmonics. And then if it continues to march higher, we have the next cluster around this 55, 56, 36, to right around there. You have a major cluster. So that's the upside. Remember, we don't have any bearish patterns that have triggered yet. The only minor one is this potential double top. And that takes us exactly back to the roll gap. Remember, this is not a natural gap, this is a roll gap. So that's where we sit right now. And that wouldn't even trigger the bigger bearish wedge pattern. Keep that in mind. That's the real thing I'm watching, because that could take it even below the rotation zone. But there's no guarantee that will ever trigger. The NASDAQ, not up to the 75 yet. So we rally. If we rally today, this 2210 area is what I'm focused on, the 2290. I'll put up the reverse harmonics for next week. So that would give me 2451 and 2532, 2637. To the downside, we don't have a double. The major support coming in about 19,968. So also this, I'll have to try to redraw the wedge, but it's getting very sloppy. I'll have to see if that sets up. We'll see. But the major support was cycles at the top on the weekly, still have divergences. The first major support is 19.3. So remember that for next week. Where's Bob? Is he still alive? Bob's alive. I'm actually should be recording Futures Edge next Tuesday with him. Hey, Christoph. That's a good one. What? Who? Again, I have no idea. I'm just following the patterns. You know, we could be stuck in a sideways consolidation. There's nothing that's the market. The only thing I'm still poised for is especially some surprise going into possibly August timeframe. The market, the volume, it's just not a strong market right now. It's not a strong market. The price action is still going up, but it's not got a lot of underlying strength. Dow, The Dow, really, the major resistance is 39,685, 39.7. It already tapped the 87.5, by the way. No double top here because it's in consolidation. In consolidation. The key support is 39.4. Russell moving higher off those PCE numbers. But it already hit that key resistance we've talked about, this 2081. The next little level, I want to just see if we flip this around. If we flip this around, because then this is getting a little compressed, but we can watch it. 2080 on a closing basis, right around there. And the next levels off the flipped harmonics will be 2098 roughly, and then 2115. Support is all the way back at 2060 to 2063. VIX back down into the 12s. No fear in this market. None whatsoever. DAX triple top. So that's over. Never triggered. Confirmed but never triggered. So now you have confirmation. This is turning into a significant level. About 18,525. And support is coming right in around 18.3. Other than that, it's in no man's land. The notes, still you got the double in play, rallying up today. Could be a %B buy and a rotation zone buy. So I'm paying attention how the notes close in relation to yesterday. The high yesterday, 110.11.5. The flip side, this would be a %B sell. So watching how it is in relationship to the low of yesterday, 4.267, and a rotation zone sell. Dollar index. Little dollar index, little mini potential double top. Although if it rallies back up above this about 105.65, off the table in triple top territory. And that would only be for a potential little minor pullback. You can see right here. You know, and it does qualify. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Sorry. Got to double check. I thought it did. It does not qualify. So on any break really below this, about 105.30, you'd have to look at the harmonics. So since that didn't qualify, I'd have to look at 105.42, and then on a close below that, we go to 105.05, since you don't have potential double targets. Now, these price action is still, we have not hit that 87.5% anchor. So right now, the price action is still probability-wise for higher, to retest this high area from mid-April to beginning of May. Crude tried to spike up, still no close above that 62.5, and running up and then getting sold. Paying, again, very close attention to where crude closes today, roughly in relation to 82. But the rising rotation zone, so key now major support is still this 80.25, and minor support is 81. Support levels keep climbing. And this won't be good for, because gas is also starting to edge higher. This won't be good for some inflation coming up. Gold, nothing still. Nothing. You technically had a PCE buy yesterday. It's just in a range, so nothing from reward to risk. Yen, they fired their currency chief? Look at this. 161.28 was the next harmonic. What did it come up to? 161.28.5. Oops. But there's at some point going to have to be intervention again. You got daily cycles finally rolling over, so I'm going to be watching to see where some support is, but that easing up today. We got the euro. Nothing much. We still favor another move down in the euro, but it's still in consolidation right here. The spiders, 547.19. Key today, 548.20, and above that 549.16. On a rollover play, 546.37 to yesterday's close, and then very significant support about 545.30. We'll have to see if the S&P can, or the spiders can get into double top territory also today. Qs, 482.35. The levels are 483.58, 485.21. Gap fill would be a 481.61. Then you have some key support at 480.33, and then you have 478.70. Good old Bitcoin. Still watching breakdown below 63 or breakout above 62.3. Nvidia, sort of in the doldrums, nothing to talk about yet from this perspective. Tesla, still trying to break out higher. Over what news, I don't know, but you had some pretty significant call juicing on Wednesday. Key resistance 206.57. Apple still has not invalidated the double yet. Either to trade through after hitting the first target, so that's why the levels have dropped, either needs an intraday trade above 216.80 or a close above 215.10. Sorry, had to get the levels there. Today is Elon's birthday. Might rip. Is Elon's foundation going to buy some calls? I'm just waiting for it to roll over. What else? I don't have much else to talk about. Just pay attention to 10 a.m. Eastern. 10 a.m. Eastern. So that's all I'm watching for, really. And we've continued to sell off after we just broke some overnight key resistance. So roughly about 15,554, 555 is now key resistance on a bounce in the open. The major support level, should it continue to drop, is coming in about 542, 55.42. Other than that, I hope everyone has a fantastically wonderful weekend. And, have some enjoyable summertime. Hope everybody has some fun events planned or some relaxation planned. And I shall talk to everyone next week. Bye for now.